To truly be is to be fearless. To be fearless in the face of all appearances. And most of the places we go in life, we are taught to fear ourselves and fear at least some of what appears. But a lot of this is really rooted in ourselves and what we're taught about our own inner content, so to speak, our thoughts and emotions and sensations about how we experience the world. So we're taught that some of our thoughts are good, wholesome, and pure, and other of our thoughts are unwholesome and impure. And the same with emotions and experiences, and that in order to live a life of seeming freedom, then we need to conform to being a good person who accumulates more of the positive thoughts and fewer of the negative thoughts, and more of the positive emotions and fewer of the negative emotions. Yet there is never any freedom in any of that. So what we're taught to do with our thoughts and emotions are either to avoid the negative ones or to replace them with something positive. These are the two things we're taught. And both of these approaches are approaches of fear. These are approaches of fear. They're not approaches of openly wholesome, totally loving being. There's nothing whatsoever to fear about ourselves and what goes on within us. Just like in sky, there is nothing to fear. There's nothing whatsoever to fear. One part of sky isn't better than another part of sky. One part of sky doesn't need to be accumulated into a larger mass to offset a negative part of sky. And just like sky is, we are. And we are sky. We are sky. We take ourselves to be what we've learned ourselves to be from others. So we've been taught by others that we are something finite, stable, and solid. But that is only taught to us by those who never look beyond what is stable and solid, finite, and material. So this we could call one aspect of what appears, but if we only know that aspect of what appears, we always feel very incomplete in ourselves, and we always feel somehow that we're flawed and need to be fixed. The absolutely flawless nature of space is what we are comprised of. I'm not just talking as a philosopher or as a scientist either. I'm talking about the way things are. Either through philosophy, we can say everything is pure like space, or through science, we can actually show today that anything that is comprised of space. We can put it, anything that is, in a linear particle accelerator, and when it's broken down, we show that it is like space. So this is incontrovertible evidence. No matter how much anyone may try to prove the material existence of reality, it can never be shown to be, because wherever material existence is shown to be, it cannot be found to be. It cannot be found to have a nature independent of sky-like space. And because nothing that is can be found to be separate from sky-like space, then where is awareness? Where is awareness? Awareness is equal to sky-like space. It's the space itself that is aware. Awareness has never been generated within any kind of materiality, and it never will be. To say that, oh yes, awareness, it's generated by a biological organism, some kind of animal or whatever it may be, is incomplete. It's absolutely incomplete, because even though we are endowed with awareness, the awareness is not generated from within us. It's not a process that comes about through ovum and seed. This is not the way things are. If we look at any of these labels, what we can see about them is that all of them, no matter what they are empty of an independent nature. And it is in this that fearlessness is. Fearlessness is in this reality that everything is empty of an independent nature, that no matter what it is, it's absent of its own being. No matter what appears, it's never been made into anything that will last, that is permanent. And we can apply this not only to ourselves and our thoughts and emotions and our sensations as they appear and disappear in space, but we can also apply this to the physical materiality of our being as well. Just as we come into being as human beings for a time, we abide for a time, we will also disintegrate and disappear. So this is the law of impermanence. It's the law of impermanence that applies to everything. There's nothing that's stable and solid. Nothing whatsoever that's stable and solid. No matter what appears, it is subject to the law of impermanence, no matter how solid and stable it may be. And in the reality of our own being, how we become fearless is just to become acquainted with what we really are, to become acquainted with the sky-like awareness that is the essence of all of our appearances, no matter what they are. When we become familiar with that, then we really know who we are. And it's very simple. Nothing needs to be changed. Just like in sky, nothing needs to be changed. Nothing needs to be changed but about thoughts and emotions and sensations. If we begin to try to manipulate thoughts, emotions, and sensations, we place ourselves squarely in a project of fear. We live our lives as a project of fear. We fear certain of our thoughts, certain of our emotions, and certain of our experiences, and then spend our lives trying to change these things that we fear, that we think we need to get rid of. And so this plays itself out within us as individual human beings, and it also plays itself out in our species, and that we become also a species that's based on fear. And when we look at it in this way, we can see that our response to who we are as a species, or maybe some of us as individuals, is entirely based on fear, or mostly based on fear. And why is this? Because we never hear in a direct and unerring way who we truly are. Most of us only hear about one aspect of who we are, the aspect that says that things exist, that you exist, that you are someone in your own right. And as you are someone in your own right, you have responsibility for this inner torment of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, especially the ones that must always be kept at bay in order to feel that we won't go completely out of control. But the aspect of all of this, no matter what it is that the one inspecting the emotions and the emotions themselves are sky-like. There's sky-like awareness and nothing else. Their label does not have any import or significance whatsoever, as they have never been brought into being in any kind of independent way that gives them the status of power to affect anything. There's no way that they can affect anything. It's just like saying that one part of the sky has more power than another part of the sky. that the cloudy sky has more power than the other part of the sky, and the cloudy sky can somehow change the whole aspect of the sky altogether and have power over it. But this isn't the case. All that is sky is always sky. All that is space is always space. And this is the nature of our being. Just by simply hearing about this, the certainty about it in our own being will dawn. There's nothing that needs to be done. Just hearing its certainty will dawn. Maybe it'll dawn a lot all at once, or maybe it will dawn slowly. It doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but to be is to be fearless, so that if we continue to find ourselves fearing what goes on within us, then that is a choice that's been made. It's just a choice about how we're destined to live our life. However, it's only one choice. The reality of our being is always completely available, completely carefree, completely open, completely spacious, and it's never been tied up in any knots. As it's never been made into anything, it's never been knotted anywhere. It's never been flawed. Stainless, flawless sky is forever stainless and flawless. And such is the case with our nature. Just as sky is pure, we are pure. We are sky. Totally pure. When we realize this about ourselves, then we have true well-being. We have true well-being. We no longer fear whatever appears, the angry thought, the happy thought, the regret about the past, the fear about the future. Being fearless, by the way, doesn't mean never to experience a fearful emotion. That's not what it means. It means complete freedom as all fear that arises, with no need to react or respond from fear as being something that can cause one to act. There's nothing that needs to be added to you, and there's nothing that needs to be subtracted from you. Just like in sky, this would be impossible, so too in us. If we try to do that, then we're dealing with the impossible.